Top of the morning to YouTube. ShayElric here, bringing you some down-to-earth commentary. Now, this is actually going to be part of a Modern Warfare 3 tips and tricks for quickscoping. I've had a lot of requests lately on tips or teaching people how to quickscope, but it's not really one of those things you can teach. So the best that I can do is just to show you guys some gameplay and show you guys some techniques in the tips and tricks and just show you what a normal game is. So I will give you suggestions on the class setup, the one I have here. Now, as you can see on the right there, I've got sleight of hand, quickdraw and steady aim. As usual, it would be best for them all to be pro, especially steady aim, because it reduces the time it takes for you to lift your weapon after sprinting, and that comes in handy a lot. For grenades, I've got the tack insert, which you'll definitely want to use for the likes of these sorts of game modes. I try and play objective as much as I can, but I will go out of my way to either defend the team getting the objective or to defend myself getting the objective, because you don't really want to get overrun. But the tack insert lets you to flank your enemies. You really want to try and get behind them or to the side of them, because that way, whenever you do miss quickscoping, you'll still have another chance to shoot them again before they turn around. I've seen a lot of people just rush in gung-ho and complain whenever they can't kill anyone quickscoping. You can't do that too often quickscoping. It does work sometimes, but you're just going to get overrun with assault rifles and you won't get the chance to aim because of the flinch. So you really want to try and get behind them. Now for the lethal, I'm using C4. I prefer C4 so much better because you've got more control over it. If you double tap square rather than pressing R2, it's 10 times quicker and you get more control over it whenever you need it. So onto the quickscoping. I always use the MSR with extended mags and stability. It's brilliant for quickscoping and hardscoping. If you want to hardscope with the stability, then you won't have too much trouble. The only downside is, I've heard a lot of people say that if you use the Barrett, you won't get hit markers as often. Now, I use the Barrett and it just feels so clunky to me, and I was still getting hit markers with this technique that I'm using. Now, the technique that I'm going to explain now and in the tips and tricks, I actually learnt failed trick shot. I do try and do them sometimes just to put some variety in montages, but never work. I did learn this this technique from a trick shot tutorial. I was looking up how to trick shot because most of my trick shots never hit, and practicing on split screen, they were never hitting. But I came across this video saying that you could straight no scope by tapping L1 and then R1. So I tested this out a bit, and it seems that it does work at a certain point, and that point is you do want to tap L1 and then R1, but you want to tap R1 as you're letting go of L1, and you really want to try and do it in between raising your scope. So not fully raised your scope, but sort of halfway there. Anywhere from halfway up will hit, but the quickest you can do it is halfway. Now if you do want to quickscope and you haven't been doing it for that long, or your technique's not that good, I would recommend drag scoping. Now drag scoping will improve your accuracy, just because if you don't get your aim on straight away, then your quickscope's not going to work. But with drag scoping, you'll still have the chance to correct your aim afterwards, and I use it about 60% of the time, and it really does help. You don't really want to compromise your shot just to try and get that quickscope. If you get a hardscope, as long as you go back out of the sight and then back in, it's still going to look professional. It's still going to look YouTube quality montage, and you'll still get it. So let's see, technique. Yeah, I'll post a link to that in the description below, and I'll also post a link to this video in the tips and tricks that I release. So that's really everything I can tell you about quickscoping. As long as you flank them, you get the technique down. You will have to practice a lot, and you don't rush in gung-ho. You'll gradually get better at it. It has taken me, say, 2 years. Now, I started Black Ops and switched over to Modern Warfare 3 was a lot different, but 2 years of quickscoping or even sniping, and I've eventually got a technique that is pretty good. So it's coming up to the end of this video. I just want to mention I will be bringing out a coupletage with my girlfriend at some point, and I am editing someone's montage. So I'll post a bulletin to his montage whenever he uploads it, and I'll also release some more details about this coupletage later on. Now there's one coupletage on YouTube, and I don't think there's very many people who play with their girlfriends and release montages for it, so I'm hoping that this is going to be something pretty good, bit of variety in the montage. So guys, that's how to quickscope. You've seen, you do have your ups and your downs, but if you play it right, you'll get some fun out of it, and you'll get some good scores. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something new, and I'll see you guys later.